Welcome back to the Golden Trail World Series. You're joining us for Stage 3 in the Basque region of northern Spain for the Zegama-Aizkorri Marathon. The Golden Trail Series consists of 8 stage races and a final, each testing the world's best trail runners across different terrains, distances, elevation and conditions to crown an overall world champion. Our athletes have already conquered the Kobe Trail in Japan and Four Sisters mountain race in China, and are now based in Europe for their next 4 races. But first, Zegama, with 42 kilometers of Pyrenees trail climbing over 2,700 meters.
I'm always asking myself why I'm coming back here to Zegama. I just love it. The atmosphere during the race, it's something incredible. Like, it's very authentic and it's something that you don't find anywhere else.
The race is unique. For me, Zegama-Aizkorri, it's the complete mountain race.
I've heard it's everything in one course.
Not super technical, but still technical, long enough so we can have fireworks there.
We have everything, like steep parts, roundable parts, muddy, easy.
It rains here on average 180 days a year, so the conditions are a toss of a coin.
2 years ago it was sunny, warm conditions. Last year it was crazy, windy and cold. So this year we'll see.
You know that the Basque mud is quite famous, but it's quite different to run with mud or with dry paths.
But come rain or shine, one thing that is consistent throughout is the roar of the crowds.
And I always say that Zegama is Zegama, but Zegama is the people.
It's community. It's authentic. It's just bringing the joy to the runners and the joy to the village and the joy to the community.
Everything what we have in trail running, we have in Zegama.
Zegama, I think it carries all the values of trail running.
I didn't race Zegama last year because I thought I was still pretty young to race such a long distance. This year I think it's the year.
The marathon distance fits me well.
Nutrition is more important, I think, than on the very short courses, but I think the most important thing is that you pace yourself.
There is no clear favorite, so that makes it even more competitive, and I'm excited about it.
And so yeah, I came here to compete against the world's best because it's Golden Trail and Zegama.
This will be my 12th edition, so I've been lucky to win here 10 times. That's something that I'm very proud and very humble about.
I will create a new tattoo after when I win Zegama.
The saying goes, Zegama is Zegama, and that's because no 2 editions are the same.
So in the end it's all a lottery, I think.
Following a sprint through the town, our course heads skywards with some muddy, steep and wooded sections to the peak of Arats. The crowds of Sancta Spiritu lead to the summit of Aizkorri with its technical exposed ridge, and Dretz marking the start of the long downhill home to the finish in Zegama. The 2,700 metres of climbing is the most in our season. It's an extremely technical race for marathon distance, and with a long descent only beginning 12 kilometres out, you'll need the triple threat of up, down and technical skills to win here. Our athletes to watch. 10 times champion and course record holder, Spain's Kilian en normal. Can anyone stop him? 2023 champion, Daniela Omas from Germany, Nike Trail. Hasn't podiumed since, but will be hoping for a return to form. Poland's Bart Prodziewski, Team Salomon. He's previously finished 3rd and 2nd here and will be hoping that the mud hasn't dried out. Basque debutant Malenosa, Team Salomon. Yet to podium, but knows the course well and has skills to match. Morocco's Elusine Elazoui, en normal. 2nd last year, but better in the dry, if he can withstand the heat. Sylvia Nordskar, Team Hoka. Yet to podium in the Golden Trail, but these trails will feel like she's at home in Norway. Returning champion Mani Marias, Team New Balance, loves the downhill, but will it be too dry for his skills to shine? Switzerland's Therese Leboeuf, Compress Sport. Third here last year and showed in Kobe she's on form, starts joint favourite.
Good morning, buddy. Good morning.
Not breakfast, lunch.
With 10 times champion Kilian on the start line, it was always going to be a fast start, and so it proved. Bart Prodziewski leading out the race through the town.
I was feeling confident to have a good race. I felt like a bit heavy in the stomach from the start.
Out from the start, I was just among the top 10 women. I felt, okay, this is a good position, but now I'm gonna focus on my race.
When we started, I just felt so bad with my legs. The first kilometers were a nightmare for me.
The start I go with Kilian, and after I think it's difficult for me to run together.
As soon as the climbing began, Kilian blew the field apart, running a pace with the course record in mind. Kevin Kibet attempting to follow before El Hussein and Robert Pekimoy mounted a response, and by 8 kilometers at Oldsummer, all of our top 4 were ahead of record pace.
Kilian, Eluzi and other runners from Kenya, they pushed so hard, so I decided to be in a second group.
As the climb steepened, Therese Leboeuf took over to lead a Golden Trail for the very first time.
I passed a couple of women and I think I was maybe 5th or 6th after like 5-6 kilometers.
A lot of girls were passing me and I was like, okay, what I'm doing here? I was thinking like, if I'm feeling so bad in the 5th K, what I'm supposed to do in the 40th?
By the time they were climbing to Arats, Kilian was well out of sight and over a minute under the course record. But behind, Kevin, Robert and El Hussein were trading positions with each change of terrain. The steeper climbs favouring El Hussein, the faster sections allowing Kevin to deploy his 28-minute 10K pace.
I stay always 2-3 with Kevin and Roberto.
I felt a little stronger in the uphills today.
The mist was closing in and the pressure of leading was starting to drain Therese. Sylvia Nordskar swiftly took over and, relishing her position by Arats at the 16K mark, had extended her lead to a 90-second advantage over local runner Lida Urestarazu, who was making an impressive debut. She was followed closely by Spanish runner Marta Martinez.
It was super scary. I have never led a Golden Trail race before. And this was also Zegama with all the people. I said to myself, Sylvia, don't think about that now. A lot can happen. It's so early in the race.
The dry trails of 2022 were a distant memory, and the stickier downhills past Arats were presenting Kilian's battle with the record its first major challenge. Kevin was impressing with his descending to lead the group of 3 chasers, all still within 10 seconds of each other.
And then I ran with Elaine from Spain, who was run just behind me. We had a good pace. We ran together until the Santo Spiritu.
With trails reminiscent of Norway, Sylvia felt at home descending to Sancta Spiritu, creating a 2-minute buffer over Lida, who had extended her lead over Marta by 30 seconds. Marlenosa, who was sat in 13th at the 13k mark, was exploiting her local knowledge, picking up 5 places on the downhill to scalp 4th place, sniffing her first podium.
I was like super behind, I was 13th. Then suddenly something changed and I was feeling way better. And I started to pass people. I knew I was getting into the front positions.
The craziness of Zegama was already playing tricks, several athletes struggling to find the form their pre-season had promised. But the fun was just beginning. The Sancta Spiritu, the exposed ridge, and over 2,000 meters of descending, all to come. We'll see you after the break. You're joining us at the Zegama Marathon, 42 kilometers of rain-drenched trails with over 2,700 meters of climbing. 10 times champion Kilian leads 71 seconds under his own course record, the roars of Sancta Spiritu driving him forward.
This year was so crazy. People in the Sancta Spiritus, they were so loud. It was amazing. I think it's only here in Zegama.
My ears was zzz.
This year it was at another level. It's so loud and people are just crazy, but it gives so much energy.
I nailed the timings till Sancta Spiritu, and inside the Spiritu I pushed too hard. Not just because of the crowds, but also because I knew I was catching Lydia and Marta, so the combo was just like... Pew.
I knew the gap is not big, so whole climb I pushed harder. I was 4th in Aizkorri.
All 3 runners were unaware of the danger behind, shrouded in the mist. Poland's Bart Prodziewski and Spain's Manu Marias, 2 of the world's best technical descenders, now within 2 minutes, poised to attack. Norway's Sylvia Nordskar was growing into her new role as race leader, using the climb to build a 4-minute lead by the peak.
I felt strong also in the steep uphill there and was able to still push hard.
The gaps between second and fourth began to close, scaling Sancta Spiritu to within 20 seconds. The trio of Lida Arestarezu, Marta Martinez and Marlin Ossa, all giving a masterclass in technical running, gapping a now distant Daniela Omas.
I passed them at the final part of the ridge and I was second for the whole of the race.
Despite unleashing his legendary downhill skills, a combination of stomach issues and slippier conditions was seeing Kilian drift away from his course record.
From halfway, I knew that the record was not going to be possible, so from there it was more like to have a good race, enjoy.
Behind El Hussein, first Bart, then Manu, then Luca Del Pero used the descent to catch Robert Kimoy and pass a now fading Kevin Kibet. The kicker climb to Andretz saw Bart pick up El Hussein as a passenger to establish the race for second.
All the race, I am second until Bart cut me.
Luca and Manu both passing Robert and trading places. Sylvia had settled into her comfortable lead. Marlin Ossa went full gas up Andretz, taking 90 seconds out of both Marta and Lida in only 3 kilometers to grasp second place. Therese Leboeuf, who'd sank back to 8th place, was now re-emerging and, having survived the technical descent, picked up 3 places along the flat and the final big climb to Andretz. Climbing done, the big question was whose legs and nutrition could last the 1,000 meters of descent to our finish line. The leads of both Kilian and Sylvia was sizable, allowing them to run unchallenged down the mountain.
I thought that they were much closer to me, so I still need to push a bit so they don't catch me, but then they were a bit far, so I could have enjoyed it a bit more.
I tried to tell to myself, no, don't think about it. A lot can happen and it's not the right focus. I was smiling a lot and I knew that I was feeling great.
Having been dropped last year when nearing the town, El Hussein didn't want to repeat and attacked Bart with 7 kilometers to go to eke out a 20-second lead.
I had a good rhythm. El Hussein ran behind me, but in one moment I ran slower.
I have a lot of confidence that I will be second.
Therese was growing in stature and caught Lida with 8 kilometers to go to return to 4th place. It was a day of flashbacks. The crowd erupted as Kilian entered the town to claim his 11th title in a time of 3:38.07.
Like 17 years ago, when I went the first time, it was a dream, and I couldn't think that 17 years after I was going to be here winning again.
El Hussein's 2nd place clearly felt like a win to him, given who he was behind.
I am happy with my 2nd place, but winning with Kilian hand by hand would have been better.
Bart was overwhelmed with emotion to be back on the podium here for the first time in 5 years. Luca Del Pero and returning champion Manu Marias finishing off our top 5. The women's was a day of firsts. Sylvia Nordskar claiming her first ever Golden Trail victory in a time of 4:29.12, the fourth fastest time in history.
It was a memory for life. Super happy and thankful for everyone who's there.
In her first Zegama, Marlenosa taking second for her first ever podium in 4:35.19.
I think it was the best finish of my life. Everyone was yelling my name. I knew a lot of friends and family was there. It was just super emotional. I can't ask more right now.
Marta Martinez's third place in 4:35.39. Therese Leboeuf held on for fourth in 4:36.16 and Lida Urastarazu finished fifth in her first ever Golden Trail race. What a future she could have. Now let's see what that's done to our series. Your top 4 races in the season count. Having completed 3 races already this season, Elisina Lazoui and Alan Santamaria both jumped Patrick Kipangino to take first and second place in the series. In the women's, 5 of today's finishers now overtake Maud Mathis, with Marlenosa leading the series for the very first time, followed by Sylvia Nordskar and Marta Martinez. We're back on the 30th of June for the Mont Blanc Marathon, where our new series leaders will face some big names set to return. Did someone say Remy Bonnet and Sophia Lockley? It's gonna be the race of the season. See you then.